How's it going, everybody? It's Daikin here bringing some more Genshin Impact content, and nothing too crazy today, but just something a little fun. The community been basically talking about their changes that they want to the game and stuff like that, as far as like some quality of life things. I've been seeing some pretty interesting ones. Some of my favorite ones here were like the MC change, as far as like not having to go to the statues, but just a quick change on like the menu. I thought that looked pretty cool. And then there was this other one where people wanted like more pins with more colors. That way they can, like, you know, basically color coordinate the type of things and stuff like that the way they want to. And is, of course, increasing the amount of pins that we can use, especially when we get all these regions and stuff like that. 99 pins isn't going to suffice, right? And then, of course, there was another one really cool, the element cooldown, so you can know when the E skill is on cooldown, so you can pretty much, you know, have your rotation on point, especially if you're like a player that like to be pinpoint precise on your rotation and stuff like that to maximize your damage. Something like that would definitely help you out. I think that's a pretty cool change. I don't think it takes up too much space to have something like that. It looks pretty simple and stuff, so I think it'll be something that they could definitely implement if they want to. Another cool change here was just the claim all button. I've seen some people that wanted to claim all and like set the same thing, because technically it really don't matter, you know. Once you have it pretty much set, you're probably putting the same characters there anyway, especially since there hasn't been any like really changes to this yet. So having a claim all and like reset button will probably, you know, just make it a little bit faster. But yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy, but it's, you know, quality of life change. And then, of course, another big change that I think a lot of people want is a wish counter. That way you don't have to constantly keep going inside your book and checking to see how many more rolls you got left until you actually get pity. Honkai is another game that Genshin, that MiHoYo made, Honkai Impact, and they also have a counter inside the game to let you know when you're going to be hitting that. So just not having one in this game seems kind of weird, and obviously there's enough space to put it on the screen, as you can see from the screenshot here. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. They can definitely do it and make it a whole lot easier on people than having to try to like see how many books and stuff they got. Another good change that somebody wanted here was like just a shield bar to see like how much the shield can actually take. And then, of course, they wanted to actually like go down, because obviously shields have duration on top of the HP, so they wanted to be able to go down and be able to see how much HP the shield actually has. So just a little bar that comes on top for that type of thing happening, I think will be pretty cool. And then another thing that I definitely wanted for a long time, which I think they said this is coming to 1.3 if I remember correctly already, is the change to where you can basically move the weapon material. You could like basically like make it a little bit faster. I think they said they're going to have a slide button for that now, and rather than clicking like 300 times in order to like get the mineral, the enchantment ores or whatever to your account, that one definitely needs to be changed. I think they said that for 1.3, so hopefully that is one of them. But now just want to talk about my top 5 changes I want to Genshin Impact overall. I think the first one will make a lot of people happy, because the first one obviously I'm going to talk about is resin. Now we're at the point in the game, a lot of people, where of course resin can be a bit of an issue, especially with how the gear system in this game works. It's a lot of RNG, and people are finally starting to realize that. If you played Epic 7, this is something you're kind of pretty much used to, but you know, having a little bit of extra stamina that the company gives you will definitely just help out. It could be anything they could possibly do. Now, Honkai already has systems for this. They give you like what we call a lunch and a dinner. So at certain times of the day, like an afternoon and then like evening, they'll give you like half of the stamina of like your full bar or something like that. So you know, you'll get about 60 stamina or something. Something like that would definitely help this game. It don't got to be a half. They give you 60 for the first one, 60 for the second half. But, you know, you're still getting that full 120, so you get extra, like, full day of resin with something like that. Or they just want to give you, like, a condensed resin or whatever for doing, like, your dailies or something. Just something, right? A condensed resin that's 2 extra runs of a dungeon or something like that. Or I would say at least give us, like, maybe 60. 60 would be, yeah. I think 60 would be a good number. That way people could, like, you know, run a boss if they want to or something. You know, just something to help players out, just to get a little bit extra resin. Of course, they got, like, the new pass that's coming or something like that. That was talked about or whatever, but of course that's for pay to play players. And then of course they are doing a little bit of changes themselves overall, especially with the pass, the battle pass. They're like making a little bit more free to play with the resin and stuff like that, but a little bit more extra help wouldn't hurt as all. So I think something like that would definitely help out. Now for number 2, I want to talk about weapon tryouts. Now they've been doing a great job with finally doing some of the things that I've been wanting inside the game since day one. We weren't able to see characters inside the character banner. Now that, you know, we can like view the characters and stuff like that. And you can always try out the characters too, but you know, just having that character viewer is always nice. But the weapon banner specifically was a very, very bad one, I would have to say, because there was nothing there for it. We couldn't actually see nothing about the weapons. The weapons, like literally you were basically rolling on weapons that you had no idea what the weapon skills were outside of using third-party resources, right? but the game should obviously teach you about the game. I always like to say that. But having a weapon tryout will be even better, because we all know MiHoYo translations can sometimes be a little bit messy, and sometimes the weapon skills or artifact skills doesn't always work the way that it basically states that it is. So just be having an ability to test it out like they do for characters. They already have it in the game as far as like testing characters. So just making a weapon version of that shouldn't be too hard, and just allow people to understand, or allow people to see if this is a weapon they truly want to try to go for. I already don't like the way weapon banners are, but you know, this is just something that can just basically make it to where people can roll for something that they like. Now for change number 3, what I would like to see is a removement or change to the condensed resin limiter. Now right now it's limited to around 3, which is a weird number considering how much resin we actually have, capped at about 160. So just being able to, like, you know, do the whole thing at one time will be just a little bit more better. It's really frustrating, especially when you only do 3, and then of course you go do your 3 dungeon runs, and then you have to back out and then go get your last fragile resin so you can finish your dungeon run, especially if you're just gonna be farming the same dungeon for the rest of the day. That one's kind of annoying. So either just take the limiter off altogether, or at least change the limiter to at least 4, so where we can just have the full resin amount at one time. I think that would be, you know, just the bare minimum of what they could do. But just remove, I don't really think it should be there, to be honest. I mean, you know, if it could just change it to like 99 or something like that, I don't think it would like really change anything. At the end of the day, people still got to go through the same RNG of getting gear and stuff like that. I don't really think it's going to change much. I really don't know why it's a limiter in the first place for something like that. Seems very weird, but it is there. So either change it or remove it. I think that would be the best bet. Now for number 4, if you thought the weapon banner was getting off the hook, you have been mistaken, because the weapon banner has to be the biggest trap in the game, I swear, just because of how it works. So for characters, obviously we know there's only a single character at a time, but for weapon banners, always 2 5-star weapons at a time. That means because there's nowhere inside the details where it states after you get this weapon, one of the weapons, your next one is guaranteed to be the other weapon. There's nothing that ever says that. So that means there's 2 weapons, an A and a B, and you keep getting the B, you're never guaranteed the A. So that means you have 2 chances of always proccing RNG. You have the proccing of getting the 5-star weapon of the banner itself, because you know you could get an off banner weapon too, so you got to proc the chance of getting it. It's higher than the character though, but you know you still got to proc that chance, and then you got to go through the second chance of RNG of the 50% chance of you trying to get the A weapon if you want that rather than the B. And just having that constant RNG there is so bad. It's pretty much an easy fix. You know, the weapon banner doesn't have to be a like big banner like the character banner. Character banner can stay there for the entire duration, but if they want to split the weapons into, like, you know, if a character's going to be there for, like, I don't know, say a character's there for 2 weeks, they can split the weapon banner up for a week. You know, this weapon's here for that week and the other weapon there for that week. You know, you give them each a week. That way people, if they get the 5-star and they proc the banner weapon, they proc that and not the off banner weapons, then they guaranteed that weapon, you know. And then having the ability to try out the weapon and know what they want, it makes people want to basically go for weapon banners a little bit more than what people are currently trying to go for, because right now it's the biggest trap. And even if you're a whale, you can still spend hundreds of dollars trying to get the weapon you want, and the RNG can keep screwing you. You know, with a character banner, you probably could spend a lot of money, but at least you're guaranteed the character after the second pity, at least the second pity chance, but you're never guaranteed that with the weapon banner, and that's the biggest problem. So a change like that would definitely set that straight. And for number 5, you know I had to put it on this list because I hear y'all cries. Where are my prototypes? I hear y'all. Some of y'all don't have prototypes. Some of y'all trying to get prototypes. Some of y'all ain't never see a prototype. Some of y'all don't even think it's in the game. But we need some type of weapon prototype, pity, or some type of currency in order to like exchange for the prototypes we want. Like, it should be something in the game like that. Either if you don't get a prototype within a certain amount, like, I don't know, it could be 5 runs or whatever, then after 5 runs you are just guaranteed, or after your 4th run, the 5th one is guaranteed to get a prototype. It could be something like that, a pity, or it could be a currency. After every run you get, like, I don't know, some type of currency or whatever, and then with the currency you can exchange it for a prototype of your choosing at the guild shop or whatever, however they want to do it, some way like that. They can even do the same way when it comes to the weapon, the character materials that come out. You know, if you want to exchange, I don't know, say if you have like a lot of like one thing but you have none of the other and you really want the other one, okay, it could be like a 3 or 2 to 1 ratio as far as exchange. You know, you can exchange 2 of these for 1 of these because you get so many of these and you just want 1 of these. some type of exchange rate like that can be pretty cool. Now, we already know 1.3 is going to have some type of exchange system. So if they can start to expand on that on other elements of the game, we can have something really good here and have people a lot more satisfied with how this game is starting to play out. But we're already in 1.3. They're starting to make changes, and I cannot wait to see the rest of how this game is going to expand over time. I mean, I can't even imagine what version 2.0 is going to look like, you know, just the quality of light changes. And, you know, it's going to be really crazy to look back over at this game from 1.0 and at 2.0 and see the like complete difference of like, man, look what this game was and look where we came from. Like, it's going to be completely, I definitely want to look at I want to do a video where I talk about like the changes over something like that over the time. That'll be really cool. But anyway, that is my top 5 changes. Let me know what you think about my top 5 changes. Let me know what other changes you want for Genshin Impact. Is there anything you really desire? Anything that you really think should be changed and like, you know, nobody's really talking about or something like that? Let me know down in the comments below. I definitely want to hear that, because I think it's a conversation that we should definitely bring up and have peaceful discussions and tell the devs what we want peacefully about the changes that we want to see in future updates. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say today, drop me a like or greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, follow me on my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Daikin, and I'll see y'all next time. Signing out.